What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today was a day we've been waiting for this week. We wanted to see what Facebook had in store, especially after Snap earnings and the hit in ad revenue. Was it going to affect Facebook? That's what really mattered. In Facebook's EPS 3.22 versus 3.2 expected, in revenue of 29 versus 29.6 billion expected. So Facebook essentially pulled itself back up. Bad for Snap, but good for Facebook. Being said, even though everybody was watching for Facebook, most of the market did not move. Tesla had plans of its own. It broke over 1K today, actually ran $45, I believe, over a K. So being said, Tesla making itself well known, where it stands, and establishing its dominance in the EV space today. So that was quite incredible. I know the contracts on Tesla were just were moving ridiculous with that. Essentially, I believe it was about a 100-point move it had in the day, which was absurd, just in my mind. And to see that, it reminded me a lot of the Tesla of old and making these big dramatic moves. So again, going into tomorrow, it's good to see that Facebook did not tank. We wanted to see how the market would digest essentially the earnings report on Facebook. Right now, it looks good. It popped and it's held. We want to see if it holds overnight. If it does, that's great news for Google, because I think Google has a better chance. And so at this point, I think Google can be a huge runner tomorrow. And going into earnings, which their earnings is tomorrow after the bell, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yes, theirs is tomorrow after the bell, also with Microsoft and AMD, along with many more coming in this week. So being said, again, it's going to establish some really good things. I think the ad revenue space is kind of cleared up a little bit now that Facebook is done. So now we got to see what Google's got. As far as the e-commerce space, I'm still hesitant on that. I want to see on earnings who does well there. Again, they're all essentially we got Shopify first Thursday morning. So that's going to kind of set the precedence going into Amazon, which is after the bell on Thursday. And we also have Apple on Thursday as well. So again, I think everything is looking very bullish, very strong. And thanks to Facebook, I think we can do that. And then it will be solidified again with Microsoft, AMD, and Google tomorrow. Looking back at the markets, again, I thought coming into today, there was a possibility we could pull back even more, perhaps fear from the Snap earnings in Facebook. But I believe we had such a dramatic pullback on Thursday last week, or Thursday going into Friday, that it may have been enough. And now it looks like we are ready to start rock and rolling. We've retested old resistance, and now we are starting to push up. And I think we're in price discovery mode, essentially on the S&P. Things are looking good. I think we got a lot of fuel to the fire, and we still got, I believe, 2 more weeks before we start getting into the meeting with the FOMC. I believe that is on the 15th. So being said, Bitcoin also, I'll pull it up the right one here. Bitcoin looks like it's ready to explode. A possible explosion overnight is something I've been talking about on here and on my Twitter feed. If you don't follow me at Beta Memoirs, there I give morning calls, essentially what my thoughts are for the day, some tickers that I'm looking at and stuff like that. But ultimately, things, again, are looking very good. I think we're going to perhaps even gap up overnight as long as Facebook holds. As long as the market still likes Facebook, I think we're going to be doing good. Apple, I think, can do, even though they were, again, cutting production numbers, I think they're going to come out with some fantastic numbers as well. They normally typically do. So I'm looking for this to actually break up tomorrow. Essentially, I'm looking at a lot of FANG, and also looking at coin as a big one. I'm watching for Bitcoin to see if Bitcoin starts going after the 70K mark and starts pushing past that. I want to watch coin on this next leg up, especially if we're looking at 100K as far as the next stop. And I'm also looking at US UPST. This wedge breakout. I'm watching this. I'm actually in this position going into tomorrow. Is the only thing I'm swinging, and just because I was unsure about Facebook. Again, Tesla is going to be a big one tomorrow. If they can have another continuation on this as well, is something I will watch. I'm kind of looking for a little bit of a pullback tomorrow because we did nothing but essentially run today. I think we could possibly come back down around that 1K mark and then possibly get a bounce off that for continuation. Then you got Microsoft after hours tomorrow. Again, I don't really play Microsoft. It might actually just play range here until they have earnings. Google, I think, might get a little bit more of a pop tomorrow just because of Facebook, which it did get a pop after hours with Facebook. So I wouldn't be surprised if this actually gaps up. May hold, may push tomorrow, something to watch. I think it'd be extremely important. I think a lot of these are going to start popping squared, continue to just push up today. Look for that break at 275. I think most of the things you're going to see is all the ad space. Again, all the ones I just went over in FANG will do well. And again, I like UPST very much for tomorrow, especially this wedge break, looking for that 390, 400 mark. Affirm, again, looks great. Is retesting, could push higher. Again, back in price discovery tomorrow as well. One thing I'm kind of hesitant on is the e-commerce hasn't reported yet, so we have to keep that in mind. Is the supply chain really hurting them in their revenue? That's something I want to keep an eye on. So I'm kind of staying away from them until at least Shop reports on Thursday morning. Then that will give us a better clue. Right now, it's better just to play continuation on all of these FANG stocks, and I think your Apples, your Facebooks, your Tesla, UPST, Coin are going to be the biggest ones tomorrow. And then just wait for the other ones to report, especially e-commerce. You want to make sure everything's good with that before I think you jump into anything. I think the market is waiting to hear numbers now, especially with that scare with Snap, to kind of see where things are at before they start jumping into anything at this point. So I'm hesitant to take any positions on Amazon or Shop going into Thursday. I'll just wait on those unless they start getting some gas going into it. As you can see, they're kind of been beaten down since last Thursday and just kind of holding. I think, again, they're probably be in that pattern until Thursday. Etsy's been a beast. I think because of supply and the way Etsy is run, I think Etsy might benefit a lot out of this, out of what's going on with supply issues. Could not. Really have to see how it plays out. Again, Coin is a big one to watch. I did play this morning. I captured this move up this morning. I didn't swing it overnight. I'm looking for kind of a pullback tomorrow. Again, I think we might gap up and pull back from that point. So I want to see where Bitcoin is. Really want Bitcoin to start pushing. It looked like it would push more today, but it was a little more hesitant today. So with that being said, I think a lot of these this DWAC, a lot of these people have been playing these. There's been a lot of random pumps in these small cap stocks, which I keep it on the radar, but unless I would have caught this first move, which I did, was aware this back down was $10. I didn't take it because of Tesla earnings, but nonetheless, something to keep on watch. There are better, in my opinion, there are better things to play. They got much more momentum in them right now. So with that being said, I don't want to make this video too long. Again, I think it'll be a great next couple of days now that Facebook's out of the way. Then we get Google again and AMD. AMD chips also, that's one thing to keep in mind. Chips look really good. But you might want to wait till after AMD reports and then see where it could go from that point. So, but AMD again has been ripping, pretty much going up into earnings. So it may continue to rip or may pull back a little bit. Definitely have to watch and see how they do on earnings, and then essentially look for NVIDIA and stuff after that point, depending on how. Again, AMD does, and then you can also watch MU because MU has been beaten down a lot as well going forward. But that's what I got. So if you made it this far, remember, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.